We're back at it again. Another week, another set of interesting games coming up this week. What you like this week, Eve?
This week is going to be, I think this is really the halfway point of the season now. This is where the real teams start to come up and start to pull away. You get to find out who's going to make it, who's not. This could be the start of a lot of things. So looking forward to it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, I'm your host Brian, and there's your boy Eve. We got another episode double barrel shotgun for you, and let's recap last week's games. Overall, I went. Let's see here. I went 2-1, and you went 1-2. Yeah. So we'll start with the Sunday nighter. It'll go in reverse, kind of. Saints Packers. This game was actually pretty much in the balance sometime midway through the third, and then all of a sudden it got away from Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't still in New Orleans. I know they had a strong win. You can't take that from them, but to me, everything still is disjointed with them overall. Ingram was a beast, though. My goodness, I've never seen Ingram hit the hole that fast.
172 yards?
Yeah, I can't even call. You gotta go back to college. The last time I see Ingram hit the hole that.
Those Alabama running backs. You know how they are when they get into the pros.
Well, he showed up on Sunday night, so
it's called pay that man. Because remember, he's only on that 1 year contract.
True.
Let's get paid.
You gotta give Jack his jacket, and he was strong, man. Packers once again, the defense. Boy, I tell you, these dudes can get run on, boy. I don't know what you think. You grunted, so you be like,
why do we go the same thing every day? Yeah, every week we talk about it. If you can't stop your offenses, your defense is done as toast. So it's like barbecue chicken, as Shaq would say. So the thing about it for me was I was somewhat surprised that Green Bay lost this game. But again, it proves when it wasn't like Rodgers played terrible. You know what I'm saying? It's just the fact is, I just think that the Saints, had a little bit of things going on, especially the running game, and I think that's the key. As much as Breeze will pass the ball for 500 yards and everything of the sort, but if you get a semblance of a running game, it's going to make a big difference.
Well, I think you got to realize Breeze isn't 29 anymore, and you got to kind of start.
He is definitely not 29 anymore.
He's not the same player. And as for Green Bay, I don't know. Maybe my eyes were deceiving me. But I can't remember last time they actually ran the ball somewhere. They made a running play. Like it seemed like every time I turned around, Rodgers put the ball up in the air. Did they actually run?
Yeah, because the thing with Lacy, because remember they don't have confidence in the offensive line. Again, Rodgers he covers up a lot of warts for them.
Oh, yeah.
So So the fact about the offensive line can't block worth anything. They can't run the ball. Even Lacy had to basically get his the 55-yarder by a screen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But then he couldn't get in the end zone when he counted, right?
Right. Well, let's move on to game number 2. Cardinals-Eagles. This was a slugfest. It was going back and forth. I was jumping between this and the Steelers-Colts game. Fantastic game. Cardinals showed me something. I had them picked, but I must admit I was impressed how they kind of kept their poise even when the Eagles kept coming back and hitting some big plays. Plays that you would just sit there, just shrug your shoulders, droop your head, and say, you know what, it ain't our day. But boy, more power to them, man. Especially when they got the beautiful play to Fitzgerald, which looked like a bit of a pick, but it was close. It was timed perfectly, man.
And Fitzgerald showed that he still got a little bit of wheels on him, man.
Yeah. Man, it was blurry, guy. But
they're starting to phase him out of the offense, though. You can see that clearly. I think it's so apparently clear. They're phasing him out. Crazy, man.
I think the first quarter, I think I must have heard his name twice. It seemed like I barely heard his name. I had to check to see if he's out there.
You gotta say this though, Bruce Arians. Yeah. Man, doesn't the Pittsburgh Steelers wish that they still kept him around? I'm going to say that every time.
Well, let's put it this way: this week might not be the best week to do so. After you drop a 50+ burger on someone. So we're going
to talk about that game in a little bit of a second here. But nonetheless, though, the touchdown pass that Palmer did to Brown, that kid Josh Brown.
Yep.
Oh.
Well, what was very apparent is that the Redbirds have some speed. Man, do they have some on every position.
Even on the running back, that little guy Arrington.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, man. It was a nice game to watch.
Yeah.
But again, I'm gonna say this though. I think Philadelphia. I'm really concerned about them because I think Nick Foles is what he is now. You know why he was probably a fourth rounder.
True.
Because,
Well, he didn't play horrible.
He didn't play. He might have threw for a lot of yards.
Yeah.
But the effective plays that need to get done.
Okay, well, let me put this to you though. Is the Deshaun Jackson factor starting to show up now?
Most definitely.
Right.
You need a guy over the top.
Right.
Because
I'm sorry, like Macklin, as great as he's a receiver, he made a fantastic catch in that game. By the way,
yeah.
Holy smoke.
He made a couple of them.
A couple of them. But like, even you double him. Who else you have? He's not really over the top guy. It's like, really? So like, I think that's what's starting to come into play with him, and especially if McCoy's kind of in and out. You're not sure what you're getting.
Yeah, man.
So Philly, we said this last week. I got a funny feeling about Philly. They ain't completely sold on them. And speaking about not being completely sold on somebody, boy did the Colts show their backside this past weekend. Holy cow! This even my cousin, he even had words to say for it after I talked to him. This beatdown was waiting to happen for about 4 weeks, I felt. And I said I don't trust known teams. I said it once, I'll say it again. It's almost like scripture for football. Don't trust known teams, okay? I'm sorry. Words to live by, folks, okay?
we did choose the over 80 points though.
Yeah, we did do it in the shootout. Yeah.
So we didn't expect 50. We didn't expect 90 points.
I knew was gonna put his licks in there for sure.
True, but it looked like I don't know what happened. It just Roethlisberger. Wow.
You know what they did? They took a little bit of something you always talk about. Actually, for once. They decided to keep a running back in the backfield.
How about that? And the thing about it is, for all the explosion that Ben did with the touchdown passes, Bell still ran on 100 and some odd yards.
They stayed more conventional, and guess what? Ben was able to. I haven't seen Ben step into throws like that in a long time. I mean, this is like ropes.
Yeah, man. And even when he was getting stepped on, like guys were trying to come on him, he was like moving him away, and he's like, you know what? Let me go to the side here and throw which way. The Indianapolis defense was just terrible.
Well,
they were at this guy's mercy. Right. It was crazy. It was just like, if this was a prison, oh my goodness, I don't know. I can't use those words, but that's what Indianapolis looked like.
And once again, as I said before, Luck has played very well all year, but he isn't the same. I think a little book is getting out on him a little bit.
Well, you know what though?
That pick that Pittsburgh had there, they're in his back pocket.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I have him with the playbook. They're figuring something out because he's throwing. Don't forget this started from last year in the playoffs. We had about 4 picks. When after you went through a spell of not having any picks.
Well, I think that the problem that occurred is obviously Indianapolis couldn't run the ball. And that was basically putting all the pressure again on Luck,
right?
And that while that might while Luck is nice and all, that can't work. And especially with the fact is Roethlisberger was just crazy. It looked like Todd. It's like I don't know what happened. It's like Todd Haley just says basically it's like they locked him up in his room or something, and he couldn't get out to the field. And they just said, you know what, we're gonna do things our own way. Because I mean, seriously, it just looked like a wholly completely different offense. But I also say Antonio Brown. Wow.
Well, first thing, let me just speak this on 2 fronts. One, Antonio Brown, most underrated receiver in the league.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Not
I've
anymore.
been saying this for the longest time. I see he's always been a top
for the last 3 years, actually. And 3 years.
Yeah, right. Well, he's only been in the league for about 4 or 5. So
but he's been. Here's the thing I heard. Just to interrupt you, a real good stat. They said that I think for the first 2, like he's the only receiver that has been in the league that for the first 3 years to average at least 5 catches and 80 yards every game.
And the thing about it is he's always healthy.
That's
like,
the thing. He's not a big dude.
No, but he's he runs routes unbelievable, and his hands are like some of the best hands in the league. I'm not even sure who else you could put at that level from a hand standpoint.
And he catches everything and everywhere on the field. And anywhere on the field. The thing is, you don't see him take real big hits.
No.
And the thing is, he's a jitterbug because I love his little routine he does all the time when he gets into the end zone. But I always thought of him as just basically a real speed guy.
Yeah.
But in reality, people say that he's not a real speed guy. It's just that he has great movement when he gets off the line. You can't jam him.
I mean, they're doubling him every week, and somehow he's still getting 8, 9, 10 catches, a buck something. The catch he made in the end zone this week was one of the best catches I've seen all year. Unbelievable catch. And as for my man, my coach, getting it done there, Mr. Tomlin. Can we end this?
You mean Omar Epps?
Yeah, well, you call wherever you want, but you ain't calling fire. To tell you that much. I told you.
No, he was.
I told you already.
Like, you know what though? It looks like he's putting the. It looks like he put on the necessary licks to the people that need to get the licks on. Because I think that he probably spoke to the guys all privately, one on one.
He talked to Todd Haley and them guys in the offensive side and said, and as far as the defensive side goes, I found in this case that, they got. I don't know what type of schemes they did, but they were getting after the quarterback. Like, I haven't seen them get, between that and Carolina, the only 2 times all year I've seen them get after the quarterback like that. It was like,
but they still give. But understand this. This is not the vaunted Pittsburgh Steelers defense, because they still got a lot of yards on them too.
I will say this though: when you got like a 20-some odd point lead, it's like only basketball. You tend to start sagging back and play prevent a little bit. But when they're getting after them, they dropped in about 4 or 5 times. I think Love was getting beat up all over the place. But let's move on though. That's a fantastic week of football. Lots of entertaining games.
For sure.
This week's games, big 3 for this week, and we got some big franchises going at it this week. Big rivalries happening. We'll start with Broncos, Patriots in New England in Foxborough. I tell you, this is gonna be interesting. It's starting to get a little cold outside, so we're gonna start to see what happens. We're gonna see 5 touchdown performances.
Weather outside is frightful.
But we're gonna find out not just that, but on the other side, we hear about how New England's defense has been so much improved. We're gonna get the test now this week to find out if he's been Revlon stats or this is for real. So, the battle between Peyton and Revis Island is gonna be interesting because he can be sticking to Thomas like glue all night, all day, all night. So
yeah, but that's a whole different situation though, bro. Because the way that offense knows how to get Thomas open, they have some very unique ways. Not saying that Revis can't guard him.
Yeah, but Revis been in a zone this year, guy.
Well, because he has a lot to prove. Yeah. But the thing about it, But the thing is that Thomas, man, he's been balling for like the last 4 weeks, man. And what they do, offensively is one of the more unique things. Like, listen, let's put it this way:
they set better big plays than anybody else.
That too. Hey,
like those guys never get. Never got called for a penalty for a big play.
Okay, but here's the thing, though: they have put licks on some of the preeminent defenses in this league this year in 3-4 weeks. You know what I mean? They beat up San Diego. Beat them with the pass. They beat up San Francisco with a pass.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what
San Francisco pretty much had like their 4 secondary guys hobbling in on crutches pretty much like a day before. So let's pull that back a bit. San Diego's defense has been good in their front 7. Secondary, okay.
What about Seattle? Even though they lost in Seattle, I know they lost in Seattle.
The first half, they're getting their butts handed to them. Until they start playing catch up a little bit.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
So we'll see. Now, you're right. I'm not saying they'll put up numbers.
Right.
We're going to find out because I think in this case, we got 2 forces going at each other. We're going to find out which was real.
Right. But here's my thing, though. The numbers also don't lie. Manning has always been the better quarterback out of these 2 guys when they face each other. 10-5.
Yeah, 10-5. Well, yeah, but playoff-wise, they're about 500 against each other.
Probably.
I think so. I heard a stat the other day. I still feel I like Brady in the clutch moment than Manning.
So do I.
I don't trust Manning any big spot. And I feel this is a big spot moment for Manning. He's never played well from the day of college. Anytime he's in a big spot. So I'm going with New England, strangely. I'm sticking with New England.
I just got this feeling it's going to be New England too. I just think that, have we greatly exaggerated? I'm not saying that, have we greatly exaggerated New England's demise?
Yep. True. I own that too, man. It's amazing with one player in this case. Heck, if Gronk keeps playing like this, you got to think MVP talk.
I'm going to come and say this. With Gronk, the years have been there. Right. We've seen Gronk go crazy, and then it comes down to that injury.
What I'm saying is if Gronk plays for the rest of the season healthy and I'm not saying he's going to do what he did last week, but he puts up what he's used to putting up.
Right.
We can easily see when that dude's healthy, that dude's the fuel.
Until he gets to the playoffs, and then they focus on him, and then they take him away and whatever. Exactly. Yeah, but for the regular season, I totally get what you're saying.
Right.
But I still think I think that what they have done is that they brought back the 2 tight end set, especially with Gronk obviously being the main guy with the kid right. But I still think the LaFell kid has been really helpful. for helping them out. And also, it seems like their offensive line seems to have gotten back to what they were supposed to be doing and letting Brady basically be Brady.
Exactly. And one other point here. Hey, Denver defense, don't think I forgot about you. I see you. We're going to find out for real this week, too, about you.
Okay, man, but they can play, though.
Last year, you all had some big-time stats, too, about halfway, three-quarters of the season as well, too. And
but I can say this, though. DeMarcus Ware does look like he looks like the old DeMarcus Ware, but probably not making the impact. I still think Von Miller's the key thing that makes them go.
All right. So number 2, what we have here, next game, I'm going to go Cowboys-Cardinals. Used to be an old NFC East battle, so...
How about them Cowboys?
Boy, that looked like that's like ghosts of Cowboys past on Monday night, boy. And true Dallas fashion, you know. That's why I love Dallas. I mean, I heard the ratings is one of the highest rated Monday night games in the last 10 years. Like, you know, Dallas brings the ratings. You can say what you want, but boy, do they bring the drama.
Whatever.
Romo in, Romo out, Romo back in. The owner's on the sideline.
The owner who plays a doctor who basically tells the coach, "Yo, the boy's coming back in right now. I don't care if he's a broken back.
God.
I don't care about the boy's safety. He's playing. Can you imagine?
Dallas sweets me, guys. It's never a dull moment.
Oh my goodness! The owner came to tell the coach, the boy's going back in.
Hey, you know he's going back in, right?
And you know he's going back in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh! Oh man, as much as I hate them, man, I love the fact they're in the league because it's never a dull moment in the nonsense.
That dude was willing to compromise his quarterback.
Oh gosh!
For what purpose?
Guy,
to be very honest with you, for what purpose? The guy had surgery on his back.
Well, what will we see for this week?
At
first, Romo gonna play. I assume he's gonna play.
He better, for his sake. Remember, Washington blitzed them, and Washington don't have a good defense.
Right,
and
Arizona comes after them.
This team blitzes 90% of the time.
Those boys are rough. Yeah, those boys in Phoenix are pretty cruel.
Let's see if Mr. Jones will actually call out and say to the coach, "Oh, when my quarterback is on his back, can't get up. Oh, he's gonna come back in." Like, oh my goodness gracious. Anyway, I'm actually hoping that the Cardinals put a beating on this team.
I think this could. I don't know, man. I'm not saying the season's gonna start falling apart for Dallas, but I think that Dallas's confidence is very fragile. And if this gets like 14-0 Arizona early, watch out. Because I still don't know what type of smoke and mirrors they've been doing with their defense.
Yeah, it's been kooky.
At some point, I think it's like almost like a dam's about to break. At some point, something's going to give.
Well, the key is going to be this very early on. If Dallas if Dallas was struggling against the Washington defense who blitzed them, they couldn't pick up the blitzers, or they didn't do the right combination on the line. Then what do you think the Cardinals are going to do to them?
Right, exactly. Oh man, give me Arizona in this game. I know they're on the road,
Likewise.
But give me Arizona.
I'm not even. I just think Arizona is just going to just bring it.
Exactly. And finally, save the best for last. Best rivalry in the NFL.
So they say.
Dude, you can say it with straight face. Come on, man. I mean, when these
having fun with you, man.
When these two play each other, I feel like
I'm wearing gold too. So hey, if that makes you feel
whatever.
better.
That makes you feel like better, man. Now, guy. When you had my coach fired 2 weeks ago, to hell with you.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't say it. It was just
you were implying it for about 2 weeks. All right, so don't come down, start backing off now, stepping back to Kool-Aid man all of a sudden. Like,
the streets be talking. The streets be talking.
Yeah, streets be talking. Whatever. Only one street be talking is your street. And John, you know what I'm talking about, all right? He knows when he watches. He'll know what I'm talking about. Only one street be talking.
Yeah.
Anyways, Ravens Steelers, boy, it's on. I feel like I gotta get my bandages ready. Get my E535 ready.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be one of those games. Whenever these guys play each other, no matter where they play, it's always a 13-10 score.
Yeah, it taxes me, man, when these two play each other, man. I literally need to take a nap afterwards.
You need a nap, ice water, bath water.
I need someone to calm me down for 3.5 hours after watching T-Sizzle mugging for the camera every second. And can someone put a body on him for once, please, in a Steelers game? But I don't know what that dude shoots, and I ain't trying to insinuate anything, but I don't know what he's doing in the back before a Steelers game. But that dude seems to be like a monster in this Pittsburgh.
Yeah, man. He comes up for these games. I gotta admit. Either way, like
dude, we put like 2 dudes up. Don't see the matter.
Yeah, man. I don't know. My personal opinion is it's gonna be a heck of a physical game. All that nice fancy passing that happened last week. With Ben and all.
Yeah, well, they better keep that running back in the backfield this week.
Yeah, man. Because there's gonna be but I gotta say, wides. Yeah, man, because that 5 wide stuff ain't gonna fly too tough.
Baltimore, no.
Yeah, man. And Baltimore can bring the heat. They can bring it. They can bring it with those 4 down guys.
You know what though? I like Pittsburgh in this game. I like what Pittsburgh's doing offensively. I like what they're doing in the running game. Baltimore's offense has been in and out. They're putting points up, but it's like almost like they're almost like Joe Carter. In this case here, they'll strike out a lot of times, but you better not catch that fastball in the wrong spot, or you're gonna take you over the fence. And that's Baltimore. You always got to worry about that home run ball with them all the time, man.
Right.
And but I still like Pittsburgh in the case of this game, man. I think Pittsburgh's got to figure out something. Their running games look as good as I've seen it in years. And defensively, the defense is coming along. Like I said before, they're starting to find pressure. If they can get anything close to what they gave this week, the luck, I think they'll win this game, man. So what do you think?
I'm gonna take the Pittsburgh in this game because I just think that they're a little bit better off. They have a better flow offensively. I just think as you well pointed, Baltimore has been fluky. 1 week they're killing everybody throwing the ball. Right. Next week, Flacco looks like Joe Flacco. That inconsistency thing kind of does bother me. But I just think because the way that Pittsburgh has just been, playing good, and I think that they can. Then plus they have studs: the quarterback, the wide receiver, and the running back.
Yeah, I mean, I know
that can do it.
For the exception
if Haley is locked in his room, they don't let him on the field.
Was he on the field on Sunday?
I don't know, man. Something's going on over there, man.
I didn't see a lot of camera shots on they usually have.
I personally, I think that they probably gagged him or they probably did something to him and they said,
Ben just said, "Shut your mouth."
Yeah. Thomas basically said, "Listen, I run this thing. You just give me hey, let the junior offensive line coach or somebody run the game."
You know what happened. Here's how it went down in Pittsburgh. Okay, Ben comes into the coach's office and like, "Coach, man, what the hell is this guy doing?"
Mike. No, he probably says, "Yo, Mike."
Yeah, Mike. What the heck is this guy doing? Mike probably said, "I know, man. I can handle this. Don't worry about it. I can handle this." Okay. Yeah. You see Mike come there. Yo, Haley, what the hell you doing, man? This is how we can run things out for that one, okay? This. Okay? But hush your mouth. This is how we're going to handle things.
I'll go to the owner. You hush your mouth.
Yeah, I don't give a damn who the owner is, GM. This is what we're doing this week. I ain't gonna get fired because of you. This is what we're doing.
I think that's basically what he basically told us. He goes, "Listen, I'm the HNIC up in this gym."
Right. I done won Super Bowls and been Super Bowls without you guys.
Right. He goes, "Remember, I beat you."
Right. Exactly. On the way to the Super Bowl. Anyways, man, this is gonna be a good weekend. Some real nice matchups, and it's gonna be a lot of fun to look forward to those games, man.
For sure.
So we're gonna get into it now. Topic of the week. The Jets, Jets. Your team, Kimberly.
The clown show of the NFL.
Oh, man. Okay, so this week the GM comes out pretty much talking a lot of smack about how he's pretty much put them in a great position in this case. And like he must be living in Twilight Zone. What team is he looking at?
First of all,
let you take over the story, man.
Let's just put it this way. Right now the Jets are just a horrific mess. All right, but the problem that the Jets are having is very simple. They're trying to piece to 2 ways of this. Either you scrap the team, you build it from scratch. You let the GM do his job. When a new GM comes to your team, rule number 1 is that he has to go to the owner and say, "Look, if you're gonna hire me,
right,
you got to give me carte blanche.
Right.
You got to let me fire and hire who I need to bring in for me to be successful."
Fair enough. I got a point to rebut that, but go ahead. Finish.
Okay, but the problem is Rex Ryan. Listen, good coordinator, probably one of the better defensive coordinators. Terrible head coach.
Okay. All right, I'm going to rebut you on 2 points.
Okay.
A, first point with the GM. I hear you, hire and fire who you want. If that is not the case, then should you not try to make it as best as possible to equip your team with the most talent you can? You go out there, you take a risk and draft a quarterback, which some people think they should have been drafted at the position they're drafted. Fair enough. That's the case. But when you put no talent around the guy and then say, hey, be Joe Montana or Tom Brady, knock yourself out, there's nobody has worse skilled players in this case as far as in the receiving corps than the Jets. You know, before they got Harvin.
It's not bad.
Before they got Harvin. Really?
Okay.
Really?
Well, listen, I'll say this.
Jeez.
Okay. My problem is more on how the heck this guy okay. Rex Ryan is a defensive coach. All right. The one thing that you know that you need in his defense are cornerbacks. How the heck you don't even get any cornerbacks?
Well, that's the other thing. So to Rex now in this case here, I disagree. I think Rex is a good coach. I don't think he's a great coach, but I think he's a very good coach.
To talk, he's a blowhard, man.
You know, because you can be a blowhard, you can still be a pretty decent coach. You're a blowhard,
but he had talent around him. Of course, I understand that, but I just don't think. I just think that he does not do anything. I just don't think he's a good coach, a good head coach.
Fair enough. I mean, but I guess his record in this case overall, I think, is showing that he could get a lot of teams that really had no business being there. Because if you look at the Sanchez teams, there was no great players in the receiving core he had on those teams.
But they had a running game.
They had a running game, true. And I agree with that. And
the first 2 seasons, man.
Right. So,
first 2 seasons was there. They were just running the football.
Right. But in this case here, he played to his strengths and he figured out schemes, in this case, to deal with his rivals. In this case, that's good coaching. In this case, I'm not saying he's the best coach, but what he had versus the other teams in the AFC, I think he did a lot considering they went to two conference championships with Mark Sanchez.
Yeah.
Come on.
I hear you, but I just think that right now you have two visions that are going on. You have one where a GM is trying to think on long term, but yet he doesn't know what the hell he's doing short term. And then you complicate that with an owner who's an idiot.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like he's a goofball himself.
Yes.
He doesn't know what the heck he want to do, and he's trying to think that he can placate to everybody and all things. When in reality, just get a plan together. If you gotta let the man do his job, let him do his job. Now, if he likes Rex. That's the obvious key.
Well, that's obvious.
That's the obvious key. He likes Rex. Rex ain't going nowhere.
No. Because I think what ended up happening was he knew everyone took heat last year how bad things were. He said, well, a couple of years ago, I said, I got to do something. So I'll fire the GM and put this new guy in, but leave Rex where he is because I don't want to fire Rex. You know, fair enough. And honestly, I'm not even sure if Rex should have been fired, to be honest with you, because, I mean, seeing what the GM's doing now.
He ain't doing right. It's been 2 years. It's basically 3-4 years of the incompetency of the front office that has really messed up this team.
Yeah, like the only dude, the guy who goes to pick up his running backs. Right. They're like over the hill. Like really? That's what
you never hear this type of stuff about the Giants.
Well, of course not. Of course not.
Because they like winners. Winners don't do this nonsense.
You know, the Jets don't have any sort of, you pick up a bunch of I mean, I don't mind the Chris Johnson signing, but you got to parlay that with something else.
I knew that was a bad signing from the jump, man.
Fair enough. It's not the best, but at least
they don't got the best weed in New York.
Fair enough, but at least he has talent in this case.
The guy has a twitch like the guy from Friday.
You gotta get guys that can make plays, is what I'm saying, for a quarterback like Geno Smith. When Deshaun Jackson's out there, and you're playing all hardball and stuff like that you don't want him, things like that. You remember in the summertime they were thinking about him too. Yeah. And then they play hardball like, well, we're the Jets.
So then you bring it in a guy that beats up his own teammates.
Lord.
Guy, come on, man.
Here's the thing: you could got Deshaun Jackson probably cheaper,
and with less gags,
and a better receiver. Unreal.
I don't know if you saw this past NFL game night with Michael Irvin and Dion and those guys. Man, Mike Irvin was just taking shots. He's like, yo, you bring in a dude that beats up his teammate, then you just see Dion. He goes, oh man, why'd you have to go there? LT's like saying, oh man, why'd you have to do that? They go, what? Am I lying?
Right.
You know, and so thank goodness probably that it's a good thing that probably Geno Smith probably ain't going to be the starting quarterbk for a while.
To deal with that nonsense, yeah. There's a good way.
I'm going to tell you straight plain, if that was occurring and the way that he was throwing the ball against Buffalo, because he threw a bad couple picks, especially in the case when he was throwing to Harvin. You can only imagine what it's a good thing that Harvin only just walked in that was his first game.
He played nice for the first week.
father. Can you imagine if that was like
Oh my
5 weeks?
gosh, it's just brutal, man. I don't know, man. We wasted more than enough time on the Jets, man. That's probably the last time.
Jets.
Jets. And
Yeah.
that's probably the last time we'll speak about the Jets for this entire show, for this whole entire
It'll be the
season.
last time we talk about the Jets ever.
All right, it's that time, Fantasy Insider time. Eve, what you got for us this week?
Got Arian Foster from the Houston Texans.
Wow.
You know what? I'll be honest.
Foster stock.
Listen, I'm not a Foster dude, but I mean, I know good football when I see good football. So the boy's been running hard all season.
Yep.
Must be a contract year.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Must be a contract year.
Arian Foster's always put up numbers when he's healthy, man.
When he's healthy, that's the point.
Right.
That's always been the key operative for it. When he's healthy,
You can't be taking shots.
he's been balling. He's been balling consistently. That's
He's
the
a
thing.
professional, man. He's a
Right,
professional.
you know what? He's the only thing that's keeping Houston going.
He's a professional. He's a professional, man. They can't knock him.
Yeah, man. So the fact about it is that I got him running for at least 130 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if I'm correct, they're playing the. Let me see here. Who are they playing? Oh, they're playing the Eagles.
Eagles, yeah.
That should be fun because the Eagles can't stop anybody on the run. So, major cutback lanes, and that's his specialty. So he'll be doing a lot of cutbacks. So I'm not saying they're gonna beat the Eagles, but he's gonna do a lot of damage. I think I predict 130 yards, 2 TDs, 1 TD through the air, 1 through running.
All right.
My next guy, I think I have Mr. McKinnon there from Minnesota.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Boy, man.
Yeah, man. I'm not saying he's AP, but he's AP's replacement because AP ain't coming back, folks. Any Vikings fan who knows,
I'm not sure he's ever gonna be in a purple uniform.
Yeah,
again.
he ain't seen that jersey.
Don't worry, man. When he's at the star in his crest, man, just now. Don't worry about it.
Right? Yeah, that's a whole other topic right there. But the thing about it is McKinnon's been, you know what? He hasn't been tearing it up, but he's been very consistent.
Right.
So, and they're playing, I think, Minnesota. Who they playing? They're playing. They're playing the Redskins. Oh, did I say Redskins? I mean Washington. Yeah, they're playing Washington. So I think he's gonna do pretty good. 120 yards. He'll get himself a couple TDs. He's been overdue.
On a side note, RG3 coming back this week?
I think so.
Okay.
Robert, yeah, him and his beads or hair or whatever he calls himself
I didn't
today.
get your shots in the man's hair guy. Holy cow, man. They're cold.
Dude, come on, man.
What? Come on, what? Man's
Come on,
hair
man.
stuff.
Come on, man.
That's man's
It's like
hair
he look. Listen, man. Anyway.
Yeah, don't get fired.
And who's my third guy that I think I had there? Alex Smith. I had Alex Smith of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now you'll probably say, why would I choose Alex Smith in fantasy?
I see the numbers you're giving. So he's going to dink and dunk his way for 312?
He'll dink and dunk his way to 312 because he's facing the Jets.
Good point.
That's why. He's facing the Jets. That's why.
That's unless Charles runs him right down their throat.
Hey, listen. All he has to do is check down to Charles, and Charles breaks one.
Right. That's really how it's gonna happen. Yeah.
That's basically what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So we get like 4 of those.
The bow.
You know what I mean? So it'll probably be like a game of where he does like maybe 22 or 30, and he gets like 270 yards, but he'll probably get like 4 touchdowns because it'll be based upon screens all over the place because it'll be check downs.
Has he thrown a pass over 40 yards yet this season? Just curious.
Heck no. He doesn't even know what a wide receiver even looks like.
And here's the thing. He's got like the worst coach. The guy just placate to him. And no one loves to check off like Andy Reid.
Well, that's the number one rule for all those quarterbacks, man.
That's Westbrook.
That's it. Like, you know what? The thing about it is they have a real good tight end, that kid Kelsey, but they don't use him. But the wide receiving court, Dwayne Bowe's garbage. It's trash. But the fact about it is that Kelsey's a beast.
Tell me how you feel
they don't
about
use him. And Charles and Niles Davis is also a guy you should be looking on the lookout too because he can play. He can run.
So there you have it, folks. Eve's Fantasy Insider with some editorial from Eve as well too on everything from hairstyles to Dwayne Bowe.
Hygiene. And also tell people don't be using drugs. Chris Johnson.
Oh man, dude, I'm gonna start calling you Nancy Reagan, guy. Good lord, man. Every week, guy, you're PSA.
Hey man, I'm telling you, that drug problem is a problem. Weed is a powerful drug.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, that's the Fantasy Insider for this week. Where can the good folks find you, Eve?
Oh, they can find me at Wide Charlem. Yo, Jay Glazer, man, you have to hit me back up, dude. Michael Silver, I'm calling all you guys out. You guys need to come and check us out.
Oh man, okay, great. Now you've added. You have big time reporters now. Look at
name dropping, man.
Name dropping big time reporters to look for us. Great. Next thing they'll start giving us grief. Anyways, you can find me at Beyond Locker Room, short for RM. Once again, subscribe at the top, comment below. You can discuss, about marijuana policy there with Eve in this case, if you choose to, or anything else, hairstyles.
Yes.
Our braids still in style for a minute this time of year.
Right.
You tell us. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. It's been good talking to you folks.
Yes, sir.
Always a pleasure.
All right. Bang, bang, bang.
Yes. Later.